Welcome to Pivot Happens, the plucky little podcast that could, with Anne Kingston and denMeer.
Ready?
Yes.
Are you ready, Lisa?
As the pings go off on my phone for work.
Oh, nice. Perfect. Welcome to another episode of Pivot Happens, the plucky little podcast that could.
Plucky.
We're plucky. We're pluckers. We're mother pluckers. This episode today is born out of Anne's idea for our based on our week. We have had a heck of a week at work, and what she said to me was, what if we talked about when you're trying to do the pivot, you're trying to live that pivot lifestyle, and life is happening, and it may not even be work. It could be family stuff. It could be, who knows? You know what I mean? The transmission goes out of your car. Whatever. I mean,
yeah.
And I guess again that kind of this probably all ties back into resilience again too, right? I mean that's So I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, it's so funny when we talked about the idea of the podcast. I immediately just thought of it but this is also why we're good. You know what I mean? This is why we're good.
Yeah.
I thought about it in the sense of, I have a dream. I want to be a best-selling author. I want to have that. I want to achieve that. But it's like I still have to go to my 9-to-5 job every day, and I still have to go to work, and I still have to make real money.
Yes.
And then the frustration of wanting something so bad,
Yes.
but yet it's like you feel like you have to table it and live some other life, and then when that's over, then you get to feel good again. And it's how do you stay motivated? How do you stay positive? How do you say all those things? But the part that's really interesting is when you started to talk about, the whole idea of whether it be work or whether it be just things going on in your life that are draining you. Because really, I hate to say that work is draining me, but let's face it, it really drained us this week.
It was a kick in the lady balls, 100%. It was. It really was. I was telling my therapist, and I said, I don't know if you can quite imagine what it's like to have to do something where $40 million is on the line. And if you fuck something up, that $40 million will not come to your company. That's a lot of money, no matter how big the company you might work for is. $40 million. And so
a lot of people are not very forgiving of a small mistake when it comes to $40 million.
No, and so we live in this world of high stakes. Not every day, every week. No, thank God, or I don't think I could do it. I mean, because
it definitely built. We built to that day. We spent months getting ready for that day,
and
so
there were feelings in my body that happened on Monday that I think to myself, I don't know how many more times I can do that. How many times can I put my body through that? Because it's like, I know what's going on in my body is really bad right now.
Yeah,
this is not good. I shouldn't be. That twinge, that's bad. It's like, so yeah, we have been in a war zone this week. and I will admit, it sapped a lot of my good juju for part of the week.
I mean, I physically was uncomfortable all week because you talked about it. You're like the cortisol, the massive dose of cortisol that our bodies took our bodies were probably still processing it all the way up until today. Because I'll be honest, today is the first day I don't feel like I've got this twisted feeling in the middle of my torso, my stomach.
I got a really good night's sleep last night, which was good, and I let myself sleep till I woke up, which probably in some people's books is early, but for me it was later than I usually like to get up. But it's like you're on your phone. How much how much ashwagandha can I safely take? That's been my week. It's like, if I go back to those gummy ashwagandhas, how many is going to be? Where does toxic start? And it's like, that's the kind of week it was. It was just like,
Speaking of, I need to get some of that.
how do I level out? And I mean, like you were saying too, one thing that is really good is we have each other.
Yeah.
And that having a work bestie is a good thing. If you can swing that, I highly advise it, because that, number one, all the memes you can send to each other, because every one of them you're just like, oh my God, this is us. But also, and I mean, and Laura too. I mean, Laura's, we have a work bestie triangle, I would say. It's like, I mean, I love everybody I work with. We work with lots of great people. It's not, I'm not, but they're the people I've connected with, and have something beyond the, 9 to whenever every, day. But yeah, okay, that's, and even I guess if it can't be a work bestie, having someone who understands where you're at and can at least, maybe it's a therapist, maybe it's that kind of thing where you can at least have some place, because I believe, in my mind, I think part of dealing with it is processing it and accepting that this was hard. This was a hard week. And no, not everybody's going to get it, like a person who sat there with you hitting the send button on the computer. No, they're not going to get it quite like that. But I think that is important, to let go of it. So you have to find somewhere to let go of it.
Yes, absolutely. Because if you don't let go of it, then you're waking up in the middle of the night wondering, did I put that form in? And did I get that? Yeah. Oh, crap, I forgot something. And then you don't sleep for the rest of the night. And then you wake up thinking you've got to check your computer. And then you tell yourself, don't do it because it doesn't matter. It's already submitted.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing you can do now. That's my story as to why I'm not an attorney. Because when I was in law school, my first semester, and the contracts professor said, oh, he said that one. He said, that's something you'll get up in the middle of the night and drive into work to make sure that got filed. And I remember thinking to myself, I will never sleep again for the rest of my life. And it was like, I knew then, and, at the ripe age of 22, when I'm making a huge decision, like how much money can I spend on more education? And I don't want to do this. And yet everybody's like, oh, just do it. You're good at this. But it was like, I knew, especially who I was then, that stress would have killed me. I know I logically know not everybody is in that position and that kind of things, and there's lots of law, but it was just like, no. And yet, look at where I am now. Look at what I'm doing now. It's like, you can't escape your destiny, Luke. I don't know, is it that I have this fucking lesson to learn over and over and over again, like that I get myself into these situations?
I'll be honest with you. I have wondered, how you talk about jumping ship, is the grass going to be greener somewhere else? Those kinds of situations where when it gets so bad sometimes at work, you wonder, is it worth it? And I have come to this place, which is why I don't jump ship. I'm not leaving. I don't intend on going anywhere unless obviously something really, bad or good happens. Let's get the good first.
Yeah.
Is that whatever I'm probably struggling with now is going to follow me anyway.
Exactly.
So I agree. It is a lesson. It is a lesson.
Right.
It's going to follow me because it's not like another business is going to be
chill
different in how, they're always, we're working for companies that make millions and millions and millions and millions, billions of dollars. And that will never change how people react and work and perform and have expectations of everyone around them when you're working around that level of just
intensity,
of performance and what's expected of you. So it's like all that stuff it will just come with me. It will come with me. My ability or inability to deal with difficult situations will come with me.
And I mean, I know we have talked about this, and it's like you can think, well, maybe a smaller company would be better. And I have worked for smaller companies doing the same thing, and that is not true. It's different. It's an
People
economy
will
of
just
scale.
get away with more, in my opinion.
Sorry?
The bad behavior would be tolerated. People will get away with more.
Yes, they do not have the HR like we have at all. But also too, like we talked about, you're expected to do a lot more because you don't have a department of 15. You have a department of maybe 1 or 2. And also too, even if they're only going after what we would consider a very small amount of work for a much smaller dollar amount, to them, I've worked at places where $100,000 job was like, "Ooh, we got to win this." Whereas where we work now, it's like
for the next 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, bigger point here is, and going right back to me in law school, the shit will follow you. That anxiety followed me, and yet I still stay in these situations. And again, like we always say, I mean, I'm very grateful for this job. What this job did to change my life and everything. And we've been talking about this too, kind of realizing that I pivoted back into this world. This was definitely a pivot, and it got me out of a really bad situation. It got me out of a situation I didn't think I was ever going to be able to leave, and I thought that was going to kind of be my life, and I was going to ride out on that lonesome dirt road. You know what it was like? So, oh God, thank you, universe, thank you, everything, thank you where I work. My gratitude cannot be expressed, but sort of realizing it was like, well, this was great, and it got me here. And as I told you, it's like I went with this whole thing of like, I don't want to remember her from back there. I don't ever want to be that again. I don't want to, be on that dirt road. I want to stay up here in the deluxe apartment in the sky. It's like all this kind of shit. Like, I'm loving this. People will look at me and they'll be like, "You're successful." You know what I mean? And it was like, that was what I wanted. That was kind of filling a need in me. And I don't know if I've talked about my holes theory on here yet, but I'm going to talk about my holes theory. I have this thing about, if you have holes in you, and that was a hole in me. I'm recognizing that was a hole in me, this need to prove to people I'm not a loser. I didn't, my life fell apart. I got it back together. But, so I had this hole of, and I think you're always trying to prove it to yourself more than anybody else cares about. Most people don't give a shit about you. Most people really only care about themselves. It's true. That's how we are. We're humans. But so I had this hole in me, and people can have different holes, and I think a lot of times they are around things like success. Like really successful people can have very big holes. The problem is when you try to fill holes with status, things, money, that kind of stuff, the holes never get filled, they just get bigger. And I have seen this happen. I have seen people who had what I would just consider, incredible amounts of money, inherited incredible amounts of money, who got to their 60s and were completely broke because what they had, which to almost 99% of the world would be excessive, they looked at their other richer friends, their friends who had, they had their own private jet. I just had this small plane. And it was like, so they kept trying to fill the hole, and they eventually went through all their money putting it in that hole, and the hole just got bigger. So I feel like I'm having a little bit of a reckoning right now of like, I'm trying to fill holes. I came here and I tried, when I restarted my life here and all of this, it was definitely an experience of trying to fill a hole and try to show the world I'm not that person and whatever. That person was doing some really good stuff though. And I think stuff that was really who I am, my real, what we're talking about now, the trauma healing, my book, this podcast, this kind of stuff. I do think that is really who I am and where I want to be. And so, because that feels so much more authentic, it's like then wanting another purse. my handbags, you know what I mean? It's like, because I get the handbag and I'm like, oh, it's really pretty. I do like it. This is my purse now. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's back to now, do I need a better one? It's like, So I recognized that in myself. It was like, yeah, this is a really inauthentic path. This is, and who are you trying to show? Who are you trying to prove this shit to? Most people don't even care or notice again. So I'm kind of in a pivot here. Kind of in a, another sort of a pivot in some ways back to being able to say, no, yeah, I was in a bad situation and I'm in a good financial situation now, but what I was going for then was, I think, really important to me. And I think maybe I dare say what I was meant to do, what I was put here to do. I think I was on the path for that, and this kind of just became a little bit of a distraction. So in a good way, I needed to do this time to rebuild my life and to go through all of this and kind of, get to a place where I could be like, yeah, no, that's not enough.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Trying to think of my holes, honestly. I know I have holes.
Well, yeah, but maybe, everybody does.
But I'll be honest with you, I've never filled my holes with clothes and shoes.
Uh-huh.
Just because, I've never. But I do
some people
remember,
fill their holes with bourbon. You know what I mean? You can make really bad choices, too, for your holes.
Right. Yes, or food.
Cheesecake.
Yeah,
sure.
Food.
Cheesecake.
But I think the big hole in my life was because my mom, we were 3 daughters. My mom raised her 3 daughters, divorced in the 70s and 80s. And
kids, you don't even know kids.
Yeah, I know what that was like yeah, I know. And so I think that when my mom remarried my stepfather was an amazing, amazing, amazing man. I absolutely loved him. He wasn't that horrible stepfather that some people automatically jump to conclusion that that's what was in my life. No, my dad was the one that was horrible. My stepfather was the one that was amazing. Sorry, Dad, they're both passed away, but
they can duke it out wherever they are, whatever place.
Yeah. But there was always this weird stigma. I never looked at us as I don't know, just these, just dirty, trashy kids that would never get anywhere in their lives. Mm-hmm. And I remember even my stepbrother telling me later in life, as my sister Barbara and I both achieved our master's degree, he sat down with us and it was very condescending. It was one of those backhanded compliments of, because my stepfather had 7 kids. And they were not exactly happy about the fact that he married my mom, who was much younger than him, with kids that were younger than, So there was a backhanded compliment by one of my stepbrothers, which was, yeah, we're really proud of you all. We never thought you would amount to anything. And it was like, oh. Wow. But that's the thing is, in that moment, I realized that I knew then, like I know now, that was my hole I needed to fill. I needed to prove, I am something. Yeah. I will amount to something. I am not going to, I'm not going to waste away this life. And I do think that's why, I guess I did it in a way that some people would consider positive. I got a master's degree and I felt very accomplished, but the backside of that was, student loan debt up to my ears,
Yeah.
So.
Your stepbrother said that?
Yes.
Oh, not your stepfather.
My stepfather was always amazing. Yeah, his kids never really were happy about the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my stepbrother said that to us.
Nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I know. Because I lived the other side of that, where my father married somebody much younger and had more kids. And not even bringing in her own kids. She didn't have any kids. They had more kids. My dad was a father again in his 50s because he was so good at it the first time. One more try, No, and so, but I still would, I don't blame those half-siblings for anything that those two chose to do or whatever, you know what I mean? It's kind of shitty on your stepbrother. But again, people are, the worst at times. And like you guys had anything to do with it. And also, I mean, I wonder too, how much of that was jealousy based. You know what I mean? Does he have a master's degree?
Oh yeah. Oh, I
You
never thought
know?
about it like that.
And like you're really getting something here, and maybe he even thought his dad. I've heard that one plenty of times. My dad, and I want to say, do you mean our dad? We have the same. But maybe he thought his dad was paying for your degree or paid for your degree or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make you
No,
feel
no,
bad
I
about
know.
that
I know what
situation,
you
but
mean.
I
No,
do
no.
know. I
Everybody
mean, it's
comes
like,
from a different place. Everybody has a
yeah,
different motive. That was his hole. First, that must have been his hole.
yeah,
If we're gonna look at it
yeah,
like that, he had a
yeah,
hole he was trying to fill.
hmm
So, and
yeah,
in the end, if anything, it motivated me. But still, I mean, I know all my life I have definitely tried to deal with that hole. Even to this day at work, I think I try to deal with that hole of I'm good enough. I am good enough.
uh-huh.
I'm good enough to sit in this seat. I'm good enough to be this manager. And I have to pump myself up to believe that I am. It's anyway.
Well, you
I
are
think
so
I'm going off
good.
on a totally different podcast, but
That's the way these
anyway,
work.
I
The
know.
podcast leads us to where we need to
I
be.
know. Yeah.
Well, I
But
think that, if we can kind of bring it back around, I think that um, one of the things that's important about, I'm going to call it the pivot lifestyle. I'm going to talk about that because
yeah,
I do think it
yeah.
is a thing. I don't think we knew that's what it was, and it's a resiliency lifestyle. It's it's a way of looking at things, and that's why we did this. I
I
mean,
love looking at it like a pivot lifestyle. I
uh-huh,
think that's I mean, for my life, for what we're doing, I think that's a positive way to look at it.
yeah,
I mean, sometimes I get a little annoyed with my husband who constantly is saying about how life is just not treating him life's never giving him a break. And it's just like life's giving you so many opportunities to pivot is what it is.
yeah,
How you
yeah.
pivot is yeah.
It is, and I think that is our core belief that it's about how you observe and interpret the events of your life. And as we've
Hmm.
said, and this is again kind of tying this back together, it's not just positive thinking. It's not just, oh, if I sit here, everything good will happen because I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. It's like it requires inspired action. That's the thing. And it also, I think, requires acceptance that there are going to be days where a part of you is just going to be like, this is all bullshit. This is just,
Yeah.
I can't do this. It's so dumb. What am I thinking? And because I'll tell you, at the beginning of this week, I was having feelings like that. And I know now it was work just being, it sapped me of that. So obviously there's going to be moments in your life, and it may not be work, it may be family, who knows what it, again, your transmission goes on in your car, whatever. So kind of, how do you have a plan? How do you have a way to kind of, something up?
No, I'm looking for a quote.
Oh, okay. I love it. No, so then I'll keep talking while you're looking. Oh, go ahead. Did you find it?
I did. It's a Pablo Picasso quote. And it's somebody at work told me this quote, which I love this person too. Inspiration exists. The pivot exists, but it has to find you working. And I know it's kind of on a tangent of this, but I've always loved that. Inspiration
Yes.
exists, opportunities exist, but it has to find you
Yes.
moving. It has to
That
find you
is
working. It
it.
has to find you, yeah.
Yes. You can't just hope. That's not enough. Because
Right. Sitting in your desk and going, okay, where's my ideas?
yeah,
And
or
you gotta put your
um
hands on the keyboard.
yeah, where's where's my best-selling novel? It's like, well, did you write it? No. No. I'm
Yeah.
hoping it'll come to
Yeah.
me. Or it's like, when people talk about finding a romantic
One day
partner.
I'll have the time. One day I'll
Yeah,
have the time
yeah,
to do it. One day
yeah. They
yeah.
don't come and
Anyway,
knock at your door. That's the thing. So you have to go out and pound the pavement. That's part of the deal. So, I mean,
it is.
when we talk about this stuff, it isn't just, wishful thinking. It's, yeah, you have to, I believe you have to have the thoughts and the energy to inspire you to take
Yeah.
the action. That's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. So having things like your toolkit, your pivot toolkit, Like,
Yeah.
okay. So, like for me, it was, well, therapy. I very much right now have a great therapist, and it's a great thing working for me because it kind of helps me to just process through, and just also giving yourself a break, So it's like, so yeah, I'm not having the best day. I'm not feeling great about everything. I'll feel good about things again.
Yeah.
One of my little mantras when I was going through all of my healing work that really helped me was, I won't always feel this way. Because I used to deal with a lot of very intense emotions before I got to this point that could really affect my whole world. And when I was in them, it felt like, oh, this is it. And I know anybody who listens to this, there's going to be a huge percentage of people who are like, oh, I know. When you're in it, you're in it. And it's just like, hopeless. Those words, I won't always feel this way, because it wakes up a little part of your brain that goes, yeah, remember, you were happy a week ago. You thought everything was good a week ago. And it's like, yeah. So that doesn't always last either. That's it. You have to kind of accept that you aren't always going to be on cloud 9. There's going to be days when you're on cloud negative 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. It's like you're going to be low. That having things like that, having ways to kind of try to get yourself, and also accepting, I'm not doing great right now, and that's okay. And again, I won't feel this way all the time, but not, you don't want to get into like toxic positivity where you're just like trying to force feelings and you feel terrible. It's like, acknowledge, I'm having a hard time. Now, I like EFT tapping, and I'm a recent convert, so of course I'm in that proselytizing phase still where I want to share that with the world all the time. But I have found that a really helpful way to kind of turn my feelings around when I'm having those times, to at least get me to where I'm not wallowing down in those feelings of nothing good is ever going to happen, my book will never happen, I'm just going to be working here until I die because I have nothing to retire on. It's just, I don't, to try to keep me from staying in that place for too long. So that's, and I think when you're in your better places, that's where it's a good time to start developing that toolkit, to develop, how are the ways I'm going to manage this.
Yeah. And, and listening to people around you is a big part of it. I mean, I know in my life, I've been through waves of depression, and I'll be honest with you, like, I don't know about anybody else, but when I've been depressed, I didn't really know I was depressed. Mm-hmm. I didn't know I was. I really didn't know. I mean, somebody had to say, "Are you doing okay? Are you, something's off? So it took people coming to me and saying, checking in, and then it's kind of like the depression takes you to a place where, at least for me, where I didn't see where I was. I didn't know I was there. I just knew I knew what I felt wasn't great. Yeah. And then it's like that swing up from the depression is when you finally can look back and go, oh God, I was, I was very depressed. And so that's the part I feel like is a little scary, but if you've got the people, the support, and also, the signs to see.
Yeah. And we always have on our podcast and in our website, all kinds of resources, because if you need real help, get real help. I mean, that's, don't ignore that. Don't,
and I know,
go ahead.
I know some people don't believe in this, and I understand that and respect that. But I do remember once I had my doctor say to me, it's okay if you want to take something to help you get through it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was cheating in life,
Wow, no.
And she was just like, it's not forever. You don't have to take this antidepressant forever. It's just a moment in time. Back to your words, it's a moment in time. You're hitting a reset button, and at one point you're going to stop taking it because you're going to be okay. You know. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean that to me it's a very personal decision. I would never offer my thoughts on if you should or shouldn't. And again, we are simply
exactly
unprofessional armchair psychologists.
Uh-oh, did you lose your sticky? Yeah, but that's a part of the whole, like, have your have your resources around you, have your family,
Yes.
have your friends,
Yes.
have your doctor if you if you can see a doctor, if you can afford, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
get
Definitely. I
get
mean,
input. Yeah.
yeah. Don't try to do a meditation or tapping if you're seriously depressed. I'm not in any way. As a matter of fact, I was going to qualify that when I was talking about my EFT and things. I feel like I have done, and I've had, I mean, I have had plenty of therapists say to me, "You work really hard at this." And, you know, my therapist, one of them used to say, "I don't have anybody who works as hard at this." And I was trying to get better. I didn't want to be where I was, and I wanted to figure it out. Now, when I finally figured out that after everybody came at me with all these diagnoses, it was trauma, and I needed to work through and deal with my trauma, I feel like I've sort of leveled up. I'm at a point now where it's like, things like EFT really work for me and pull me out of things because I am not
Yeah.
seriously depressed. There are times in my life, nothing. Oh my God, I was telling my therapist about it this week. There was one time I read, and I was probably in my 30s then, and because I suffered with serious depression in my life, on and off, and it was bad at times. And I read this thing that suggested memorizing passages as like a way to reset your brain. And I can still do a lot of the witches' passage speech, whatever, from Macbeth. I knew thrice the brinded cat hath mewed, thrice and once the head pig cried, or whines, happier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time. I did that to try to like get the depression out of my brain. I would do anything.
Wow.
It didn't work. It didn't. That doesn't work. And if you're seriously depressed, I would never say to you, "Oh, EFT tapping, this will get rid of your depression." No. This is like, to me, pivot toolkit stuff, which is way different than serious
Yeah. This is kind of
mental
like
health.
let's call it maintenance.
Yeah, I
Maintenance.
love that.
Yeah.
Because
Let's
it
call it
is. And
maintenance.
I think it's really important that we say that, because none of this is intended for people who are going through really serious shit. If you're on your trauma healing journey or you're dealing with a psychological condition, whatever it is, pivot might be a little further ahead than your headlights are right now.
Yeah.
It's a rest stop down the road. And so
Yeah.
trying to rush pivot, trying to make pivots happen when you're not in a place and ready for it, no, that I would not ever advise anyone to do that. This is like kind of like grad school. You know, it's like we
Yeah.
graduated,
Yeah, definitely.
we got that part of
Yeah.
our work done. And
Yeah.
let that, be as much of an inspiration as you want. Because if I told you stories about how bad my life was before and what I have been through and what I'm doing now and where I am, I'd like to say you can heal. You can heal, and healing is possible.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
get to a point where it's like, now I want to do the fine tuning. Now I want
Yeah.
to take this and help
Right.
other people have the experience I have had.
And the
What is
thing
it?
about, I think, I mean, if we're gonna connect, oh, did
Just
something
like
happen?
my yeah. Oh God,
Oh,
my
what?
sorry. My garage band was giving me a message that went all across the screen, and I thought it was Zoom. So anyway, okay, so
Well, okay, so if you're hitting record again,
yeah,
I think the other part of it is too, if we're gonna kind of come back full circle to, you know, where you are in your life will really help you figure out how much you can pivot.
yeah,
I feel very lucky. I mean, but I think this is why we're doing this, is to not only talk about it so that we can we can talk about our pivots and also potentially maybe reach other people to help them, just to help them, or if they want to hear about our stories. But I think that I don't think I've ever in my life been willing to look at the situation that I'm in and look at it in a way that I'm like, okay, you're blessed. Because I've heard people talk about this in the past. I've heard people talk about that in between time. You want the dream to happen. You want the book to be published. You want somebody to recognize your talent, and and you've got to respect this in between time. You've got to
yeah,
accept it. And can't remember who it is, but she's a motivational speaker who talked about this time between being, you know,
oh,
who you are, and who you want to be. And but I will say this, like again, the universe put us in each other's lives, I think, for a reason, because
Mm-hmm.
never have I ever looked at my situation in the way that we have really lately, which is whenever work gets shitty, whenever work is messy, whenever we've had weeks like we've had where it just, I mean, you just want to run screaming from your computer and not look back for days. Um, we will we'll sit and look at each other and go, um, you know, this is the universe telling us this is not meant for us.
Yeah.
You have a term for it, and I can't
Divine
remember what it is.
discontent.
There
Divine
it is.
discontent.
Yeah.
And actually, that came from a course I did. I should probably say who that was because I do little courses on Insight Timer. Insight Timer does not sponsor us. If they'd like to, they may. But I do courses on it. I really do love Insight Timer. Shameless, nobody, like I said, nobody's paying me to say this. I love their meditations. Anybody, people can upload them or whatever, and there's thousands of them to choose from. But they also have like courses that go on for days, and I've done
Yeah.
all kinds of them. But this one came from a women's course. Her name is Susanna Kenton. She's in the UK, and it's a course called "Quit Your Day Job," and it's really good because it's not like she's very, it's like if you're ready to jump, and she has her whole story about how she did, and how she lives the gig life. But she talks about divine discontent as one of the things that it's like, oh, you're uncomfortable? Guess why?
Yeah.
Guess why? Because you don't fit there. It's the universe telling you,
Yeah.
But, and then she also talks about, not everybody's in a place to just jump ship. But
I just connected a dot. So, you know how we talked about in the beginning of the podcast about how jumping ship, the whole idea of jumping ship, and will your shit follow you? Will it be better? Is the grass greener? So, I mean, maybe this is obvious to everybody listening, but like, I don't know, it just connected the dots for me of the whole idea of jumping ship and moving to a different company. Yes, you'll, in my life, in my experience, I don't think it will change anything. The ship will follow me. I will still have the frustration. So the reality is like, I'm choosing to look at this discontent as the motivator for pushing myself to do what I want to do. And I know that people are like, yeah, that's obvious. That's exactly what you're saying. But like, there was a moment of an aha moment there in all of that, which was the next time that I'm at work and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. There's got to be a better place where I can make more money and get treated just as badly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And no, that's the divine discontent. And I know that we've been saying this, but it's just,
no, it's got to be
you do sometimes. It's like the apple, It's like I bite the apple. Just take a bite, Move on somewhere else. Things will be better, but it will only be better temporarily.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's and the universe will make sure when you go to that next job that, hey, guess what? Okay, you're making a little more money to take the same shit every day.
Yeah. Yeah, you're making more money, so they expect you to really take it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
So it's like, oh, you own a little more of me, great. You got a little more leverage on my soul.
You at midnight if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so exactly, it's like that divine discontent is going to follow you wherever you go until you're true to your purpose, I think, and I mean, and I'm sure there are many individuals out there who would think we are just cuckoo crazy and that
Maybe.
Yeah, or just like we're just thrown on this, rock floating through space and none of this matters. And it's like, well, that might be true, but I mean, whatever. That's how you want to live your life.
We're given an opportunity to be on this rock for a certain amount of time, and we're still given the opportunities to feel what we feel and love what we love, and
I have to believe it's for a reason. I do. I do have that sense. It's like too much. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if we want to go down that philosophical rabbit hole
That
of
is
the
another
nature of
podcast,
existence. But but no, I mean, that is from where we come. That there is a purpose. There is a grander, bigger purpose, and
Yeah.
and we're here for a reason. And for some people, it might be, just turning in one thing after another at work and amassing a fortune, and that makes them happy.
Yeah.
And that's what they're, I don't know. But for us and people who have bigger dreams and people who have a vision, that's really hard. My cheeks are getting so red. I don't know why.
Really?
Yes, maybe it was that coffee I slugged down right before we started. I don't know.
Oh my God, you're so funny.
I don't know. But I just know I
I know.
see
I'm
myself
halfway through my tea.
Yeah. So
I'm feeling
yeah.
it. I'm finally feeling it.
I know. So yeah,
It's
it is part of the pivot lifestyle is how do we manage the things that maybe the divine disruptors, the discontent
Yeah, not let it
disruptors,
get you.
Yeah, and again by putting it in your head and your brain and your nervous system and subconscious and all of this, if instead of being like, oh my God, my life sucks, this is so hard, I don't want to do it, I'm going to have a heart attack one of these days, it's going to kill me, being like, no, thank you, universe, thank you, this isn't where I belong, this isn't where my heart and my passion are, thank you. Well, in my mind, that's like a bazillion times better than, just being like, oh, it's terrible, it's so bad. It's like, no, you know what I mean? It's like, no, I just know. I know I can do it. And that's the thing. When I sort of get my brain straightened around like that, it's like, oh, I can do this. I see a light. And it's like, and I do a good job. I do my best at work. It's not like I do not coast at work. I do not in any way, shape, or form coast at work. I give work what it needs. I try to do my job well every day.
No, you're an absolute overperformer.
And I really do try. And because I think that is important, I do believe karmically that if I were screwing my employer now and constantly trying to make my light green while I'm doing something else and messing around, I don't think that's okay. So it's like,
I'm with you.
To me, that's like part of the karmic deal I'm setting here. But it's like that crazy thing we watched, that little reel about it's okay to do a good job but not give a shit about where you work.
Yes.
And I try to stay in that place. It's like, I will do a good job. I do my best to accomplish the work that is put in front of me every single day, but I do not allow myself to care about the outcome. Now, I know there are people who I would rather didn't hear me say that, because I'll fake in front of them that I do care. And I do. I mean, I don't want the company to go belly up because I like having a job there. You know what I mean?
No, there's a difference though. I mean, like, if we had to stand in front of our leadership, and we absolutely do care. There's no doubt that we care.
Mm-hmm.
We want to succeed. We want to help our group be successful, though we're not taking it to bed with us and waking up at 12 o'clock.
Exactly what I was going to say. That's the thing I won't do. When I shut my computer off at the end of the day, I don't want to look at any more texts and emails. I don't want to think about what happened during the day. It's like, okay, or my morning. Actually, for me, it's more like before I get on in the morning. That is my time.
And again, if we're going to bless our workspace, thank God we work in an environment that respects our personal time, because it really does. We do work in an environment where there is an enormous amount of respect for our personal time. We're expected 100%. To maintain our personal time. Anyone who asks us to work outside of normal business hours is really, anyway, I could go, there's a whole nother, but no, I mean, we do.
Yeah. Yes, we are. We are very lucky that they do take burnout and mental health for whatever reasons, but they do. Yeah. They do take it very seriously, and so that's really good. You are not, and I always tell the people I manage that it's like, I'm not ever going to give you a thumbs up if I see you working at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going to be like, wow, you're really. I'm going to be like, Why
What are
were
you
we
doing?
working at 10 o'clock? Why did you not tell me you needed help so that you could have not stayed
Yeah.
that late? And they know
Yeah.
that. They know if I happen to pick up on that, it's like, nobody's going to reward you here for doing that kind of shit. You will get
Mm-mm.
rewarded for coming to me and telling me there's a problem. Your reward will be you don't have to work until 10 o'clock at night. But I mean, and we'll deal with it. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll address it. I'll take it on. But it's like, so yeah, totally. But also, again, I guess what that really is, I know she is that woman is so hilarious. I mean, what was she doing in that one where she was, God, she does crazy stuff. Well, she was putting like frosting on something crazy. Frosting a cheesecake or something. She was
Yeah,
like
is her
putting
name
frosting
Emily
on
the
cheese. She was
Recruiter? She's on
Emily, yeah, the
Facebook.
recruiter. That was
She's
her.
awesome. She's fucking amazing.
Here's what I mean. She's being funny and humorous to get people to watch her and get the point. The point isn't really I don't care. It's that I'm not going to let work destroy my mental and emotional health.
Mm-mm.
That's what she's
No.
really saying. It's like I do care about my job. Obviously, like we've said, I want people to do well. I want my team to be happy and successful and healthy. I want all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have my gut in a knot or chest pains or whatever it is, my hair falling out, any of that shit for that because
Yeah.
I can't give that to anybody, and I'm too old for that shit. I'm too damn old to affect my physical health. I don't have the physical resiliency of a 25-year-old. It's like I talk to people. You get to a certain age, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of shit that kind of hangs around for a while. It's like I was talking with somebody about helping someone move, and I'm like, I have gotten really selective about that kind of stuff because it's like my body is just like, hey.
Oh yeah.
That was
I
a
feel
bit
the need
much.
to acknowledge her. I need to find her. What her name is? What is her name?
Isn't it like
Because
Emily
she's
the
really-
Recruiter?
Is
Or
it Emily the Recruiter?
I feel like that was
now.
it.
She's all over my feed too.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, but the overall point, what she's getting at there is, yeah, don't make yourself sick for your job. You can do a good job, and also I think some people really get into the work drama and politics and all of that kind of stuff, and they're doing this. Did you see this? Did you see what he did on that meeting? Did you see?
Yeah.
And it's just like, nope. I was probably trying to work on something else while I was in that meeting, so I wasn't watching everybody to make sure they were behaving properly. So I mean, it's like let work be work. Let work be your work. And for some people, again, their work is their work, and that's what they do, and that's what they want to do, and it gets their means to their end. For some of us, work is a way to get to our next level.
It is Emily the Recruiter.
Okay. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's the one that,
awesome.
really awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's usually making something in her videos. Like,
yeah, I tried it. It was like she was putting, no, it was marshmallow fluff on cheesecake or something. Like when she made her own piping bag with a Ziploc bag. So, I mean, if you sit back and you watch her, she is fucking hilarious. Because it's like, what are you doing? and the way she's doing it is so all business, making her Ziploc bag piping bag, and it's just like, what are you doing? This is crazy. But what she's saying is really important. So yeah.
What you can give. Walk away when you walk away.
Yeah. So part of the pivot lifestyle is managing where you give your energy. Because if you want to pivot, you got to have some energy saved up for it. You really do.
You do. Yes, you do.
I have a little note here. Let's see.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh my God.
Yeah,
yes, you do. Yes.
It's like a foundation. It's like that has to be your foundation. You have to have foundational energy to move beyond, especially if, like, you're not only having a more than full-time job that has huge responsibility, you're also raising family. You got that going too. I'm raising 2 cats.
Going full circle here. Okay. So we talked about the holes.
Yes.
We talked about the holes. We talked about the pivot. We're talking about Emily the Recruiter. We're talking about not giving too much. So this is the part that's interesting. It just clicked with me. My not good enough has caused me to overgive at work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I have been that person working, not just once or twice until 3 or 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? There were months and months and months. I mean, there was, I think, a year of my life where I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and not stepping away from my desk until 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
but the part that's interesting is what you just said. I did that to fill the hole. I did that to fill my hole so that I could feel like I was good at my job. I could
Yes.
feel like, so that was my hole.
Preach.
And now it's like, really coming through my depression, coming through my not good enough, going through my therapy. And now at this place where I can hear Emily the recruiter say, you don't have to do that. Well, she's not, let's put it this way. I don't want to necessarily, she's probably not saying you don't have to do that, but just basically bringing to light, like,
yes,
you give enough.
Yes.
You give enough. You give enough. You give enough. You do give enough. You give
Yes,
enough.
100%.
And I also think one of the things that saved me and all of that was my therapist telling me for years and years and years, get something in your life that you will stop working for.
Yes.
You will stop. You will walk away from your desk because there was not enough in my, you know what I mean? My husband was frustrated. My kids were frustrated. And they were like, why can't you just, step away? And there was so much fear around it. But, through enough therapy, through enough that. But yes, that's what it was finding something where you would be like, I got to stop doing this because I've got other things I've got to do. I've got to save my energy. I've got to save my who I am. I've got to move into something else.
Yes.
I've got to, that part of me is ending for the day. I've given my 150%. Now I'm going to go do something else. Yeah.
I used to do the same thing because I felt like what I had to offer wasn't enough. So it was like the only way I could feel like I was worth keeping was I'm willing to kill myself. I'm willing to fucking kill myself.
Yeah.
For you, look what I'm doing. I'm here all night. I never went home last night. I stayed all night.
See?
Now, again...
And then we've learned through the years that nobody gives a fuck if you're up until midnight.
Nobody remembers that. No. It's like, well,
Never
thank
will
you.
Remember that.
Thanks. No, and the thing is, I can't do that anymore. I mean, there's my physical limitations of my age are I cannot, I mean, you've been out with me close to 11 o'clock at night on very rare occasions, I'm happy to say. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's like I'm having trouble stringing sentences together. And then I've got at least 2 or 3 days of trying to make up for what that took out of me. Yes. Because the problem is
12-hour day.
I get off then and I'm too wound up to actually go to bed. So that's problem. I'm exhausted beyond belief, but I'm too wound up because I probably had late coffee trying to do this. Luckily, we rarely have to do that. But there, like you're saying, there was a time in my life when that was how I proved my worth.
Wouldn't even think of anything else to do. Wouldn't even blink an eye.
No. And it was like, and a lot of times it was like, look at me carrying my cross. I'm a martyr. Look at me. Look at how hard I work. Look how hard I work. You want to keep me here because I'm a martyr. And it's like, how insufferable was I? Managing me had to be a real challenge for people.
Well, you know what I'm learning now? This is you know what? I won't go that road because that's a whole nother podcast.
We've got a lot of podcast seeds on this one.
Yeah, this one, just if we're going to note it, it's about how to manage yourself at work, how to manage yourself at work, how to manage your work-life balance at work, because too many of us expect our managers to do it for us.
Yes. Yeah, and I will say the good thing about where we work is it's a very clear message that it's not tolerated, that it's not allowed, but ultimately, again, it's like, I'm not helping you if I'm doing that for you as your manager. I'm really not. Helping you is teaching you and also modeling for you. Modeling. It's like...
And I really do believe it is a pivot to it's terrifying. Don't get me wrong. It is fucking terrifying to say, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
No, I won't do that.
Especially when your history is... That's my self-worth. That's what made me...
Right.
That's why... You convince yourself that's why they kept you. Not that your work was incredible.
Or I'll do it on Monday. I won't do this now, but I'll pick this up on Monday. But even that alone for some is Or no, I'm out of the office for the next week. So we're going to either have to table this or I'll have to reassign it to somebody,
Yeah.
or what, you know, like, or,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to take it up if you
Yeah.
need it that badly.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. I'm that is, and I'm learning that with management now that I'm in management, that my management really doesn't want to solve my problems. Not at all. Not at
No.
all. They don't give a fuck about my problems. They just want me to run smoothly.
Yeah.
They don't want me to go to them with
The
problems. Of
results.
course, our manager is fantastic. She will help us. But I'm just ultimately that layer of leadership, they don't want our
No.
problems.
No, they just want us to solve it. And I think we kind of, I don't, I should join myself in this, but you figured out that when you solved the problem, it was like, okay, good. And nobody wants to see how the sausage was made. If you've got a lovely
And then it's
wurst,
like, oh, I am good enough. My ideas are good enough. My
yeah,
solutions are good
yeah.
enough. Yeah. And
So,
again,
yeah,
but that pivoting of
I
that's a
don't,
big pivot.
it
That's a big
is.
pivot of
It
saying
really
no.
is. It is. And not easy for a lot of people. And we see that all the time. I'll be kind of clear with my team. It's like, yeah, I'll stay late and help and make this happen. I also make more money. And part of why I make more money is I'm supposed to take on more. I get that. And I accept that. And that's an agreement I made. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand
Yeah.
it and everything, but it's like, I don't want you to think that that's why I got this job or that's why I was promoted or whatever. It's like I was promoted to manage this department. So I will do things if I have to do them to manage the department. I get that. Don't model that part of the behavior and think that's what did it. It's like,
No, that's
and I
not
don't
how
do
it
it a lot. I make it very clear, and
No.
it's like,
Very rare.
do we have to do this tonight? Does it have to? And I understand.
Yeah.
I 100% understand because I have, some real overachievers. I love that,
Yeah.
and they're fantastic. But sometimes, and I understand because I can do this too. Sometimes, yeah, you do work off hours to not be interrupted and to be ready so that the next day isn't like we did on Sunday, like we just did this past week on Sunday. It's like, I don't want to jump right into that ring of hell, so I'm going to get it a little better so I can go to a higher ring of hell. It won't be quite so bad. Fine, that's fine. But anyway, that really is neither here nor there as far as what we're talking about. So, yeah, living the pivot lifestyle. That's really what this is all about. Living that sweet, sweet pivot lifestyle.
Yeah.
And how to, give yourself grace, give yourself room to have the hard times, to not let the hard times end your dreams, though, to not, and to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I had to kind of keep reminding myself, work was really hard this week. What you did was hard, so emotionally draining. So, of course, you don't have a lot to give to your stuff. But I will say this. I still got up every day. I still at least did my meditation. I at least did,
It's funny that you see that.
my EFT.
That you still got up. You still were dedicated to you. You know what I mean? You know what's funny? I stayed up almost until 1 o'clock almost every day this week. Which is not a healthy choice, I realize.
No.
But I was so drawn. I'm telling you, I'm at a part in this new book, the new one I'm writing. I can't stay away from my characters.
Oh, I love that.
It's so
I love that
hard.
feeling.
It's painful. It's like emotionally
I know.
ripping my, yeah. So
I get that.
so I was up
do. Well, so that was in a way your own self-care to stay on your pivot, to stay,
And I
where
mean,
you
you know
were.
what? I'm like, you know what? It'll just be another extra cup of coffee for me in the morning, and I'm fine. But and I didn't do it every single night, but I did it about 3 nights this week out of 5. So,
Well,
but I mean, it makes
it
me
energized
happy.
you. It energized you. It brings you back to where you want to be.
And I think that's critical in this whole pivoting is also being grounded, understanding what you're looking at, what you want, where you are, and willing to see things for what they are. Because I think that the pivot for us, again, I feel very fortunate that the divine discontent is not an easy thing to see. It is not an easy thing to acknowledge. I mean, the part of me that wants to just bitch and say, motherfuckers, they're doing this to me. The reality is like, okay, thank you, universe, for the sign. Thank you for giving
Yes.
me another kick in the butt to keep moving in this direction.
Hundred,
Yeah.
100%. It is. It
I think
is.
I
And
had I was doing my automatic writing this morning, and I
oh, yeah.
think that my automatic writing was about making mistakes. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why this might not even be connected. Oh my God.
Did you cheer go down?
I don't even know if this is connected, but yeah. What did I write? Because I feel like this has to do with the pivot, being grounded, being willing to see the divine discontent. Um, to make a lot of mistakes. You have to make a lot of mistakes. You have to make a lot of mistakes in this process. This was my automatic writing. Basically, have making a lot of mistakes will be the key to being successful. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of people automatically think that, but I guess, clearly needed to be given that message this morning.
No, I think that is really
Yeah,
important. That that's part of all of it is trying and trying and letting the universe tell you, does that work, does that not work, is that good, bad, you know what I mean? If you don't, and
yeah.
really they're not mistakes, they're guideposts. They're like, oh,
Right.
that was not it, that was not it, you know what I mean? It's
I know
like,
this is a really easy way to say it, but I remember a long time ago when I was, younger and, very awkward and very, terrified to even say what I, thought. Somebody was like, a mistake is not you haven't made a mistake like a mistake. It's a mistake. You just
ah,
missed the mark a little. Re-aim, refocus, readjust, try again.
take it again, take
I
another
know it's
aim.
another cheesy way to look at it, but it helped me in my life to go, okay, well,
Yeah,
it's not
well,
really a
yeah,
mistake. I didn't make a mistake.
no,
I didn't do something wrong. I
no,
just, I
exactly,
just need to adjust.
right, right, some things you try
I'm
and but
getting
if
us
you
off
don't
on a
try,
tangent again.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting us off on a tangent again.
This is a series. This is a plucky series of tangents. That's
I
what
mean,
this is.
somehow, some way, it's all going to connect again,
I think
right?
it does. I think it does. You know what I mean? That's what this is all about. Are the thoughts that get us to where we are. And I do think that I always think of Michael Scott on The Office. When he does the Michael Scott Paper Company, and he's written on the whiteboard, you miss 100% of the chances you don't take, and then he's got Wayne Gretzky in really small letters, and then Michael Scott, like because he's quoting it. Of course, Michael Scott has to take credit, but anyway, it is it's true. It's you miss 100% of the chances you don't take. So if if you don't make the mistake, you won't know what doesn't work. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
it's again, they're
yeah,
guideposts. They're guideposts. It's
yeah.
like and I really I came out of an environment where that was not very encouraged. If you screwed something up, it was like, well, you failed. You weren't good enough. You were, it was
Right.
very much pile on, pile on. Why did you try? Why would you even try? You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
was like, so, and it's like, I would so much rather be a person who's tried a lot of crazy shit, and at the end of my life be like, okay, I ticked off a lot of boxes there. You know what I
You're
mean?
right. You're
And
right. You are
it's
right.
like,
You are right.
well, okay, yeah, that didn't work. So what did you do? Oh, I went to my job every day and I did this and I went fishing on the weekends and that was enough for me. And it's like, well, good for you, Linda. But hey, don't knock me because I tried a lot of stuff. I think the people who really come at you about that are fearful people. They're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the shame of failure. They're afraid of, well, what if it isn't perfect? What if I don't do it? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's a really boring life in my mind because I have tried a
Yeah.
lot of different things.
That's the world of social media I'm finding as I navigate marketing the book.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
That whole like shaming others. It's a
oh
whole,
yeah.
again, another whole nother TikTok. But
It
yeah.
really it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
I mean,
and
TikTok. Did I say TikTok? I mean,
podcast. I
yeah.
knew what you meant. No, it's feeding shame and feeding others shame is a really shitty way to feel better about yourself and hide your own shame. And so whenever people are like that, it's like, Okay, well, you just told me everything I need to know about you, and
Yeah.
in one sentence. Thank you. Now I understand you, and I could give zero fucks about what you just said to me. So it's like,
Yeah.
you wanna we wanna match up lives and see who's been where. I don't know. I've always been like, that's why the thought of like, that's why it's been so hard for me to figure out what do I want to do with my life, because I wanted to do a lot of things, and to me, picking one, I'm not good at making decisions. I will fully admit that. You can ask my family about my inability to make decisions. Kind of legendary, but it shows, because it's like it's actually, I think, more of a fear of commitment. Like, I don't want to commit to one thing because what if something else was the better choice, or what if I like that more, whatever. So I've tried a lot of stuff, and I've been a lot of things, and I've done a lot of things, and I would not. When I talk to younger people and I give them the wisdom of my many years on this planet, I always encourage them. It's like, try things, do things. Don't just, I know the world is telling you all the time, pick one thing and do it. You know what I mean? What are you going to be? What are you going to be when you grow up? What are you going to be for your career? And it's like, I wouldn't advise you to pick one thing. I'd advise you to pick a few and try things out and see, because at the end of one's life, I think rarely do we say, well, I'm really glad I was a solid, stalwart employee and showed up every day and helped somebody else make a whole lot of money.
And I just think the world's also changing so fast, and there's no way
is.
anybody can stay in one job for
No,
their entire career.
Our friends, the millennials,
are pivoting.
Yeah, our friends, the millennials, really ushered in that era of where it started to look kind of like, you stayed at one job for 40 years. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, do you not have any, ambition or whatever? Because there was when we were coming up, Gen X, it was like, you get a job and you get a degree, because if you the great lie they told us, just get a college degree and then you can do anything you want. It's like, that was not true. You get a poli-sci econ major with a history minor for good measure, and you go out into the world. Nobody's like, well, come here and program computers. It's like, no. Even like business things, it's like, that's not a business degree. It's like, I know they told me this would be good enough, but anyway. But we were basically told, you get a job and you do whatever they say, and you hold on for dear life, because that is your lifeline. And so then heap on the shame when people would lose their jobs and stuff like that. What are you going to do? And it's like, so yes, all high praise to the millennials who came in and said, you know what, I've done this for a while. I think I need to go to Bali for a month. You can live in Bali for a month for $1,000. This is my impersonation of a millennial. You can live in Bali for $1,000 for a whole month and just rethink it all. It's like, I love you. I love that that's where you go and do with this, because that's actually way healthier than holding on to a job that's slowly
I love the
killing
millennials for reshaping the workforce. I do. Yes.
They brought a lot of benefits for the rest of us.
You want me to do what? No.
No.
I'll work where I want to work.
Yeah.
If I want to be in the office, I'll be in the office. If I want to work from home, I'll work from home. If I want to work at a coffee shop, I'll work at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I
do too. It really shook things up that needed to be shaken up. And again, I think that just shows the high pivot potential of millennials, of the generalized millennial, that like, no, I want to do something different. I want to try something different. And you'd watch them have these amazing careers. I'm a brand ambassador for, whomever and whatever. And I do this on social media, and it's just like, and that's your living? Yeah. It's like, oh my God, you guys, you have the coolest careers. And I don't know about sustainability, but you know what? Nothing is fucking sustainable. I hate to break it to people.
Not anymore.
Shit, always, everything has always been changing and evolving. It is just part of life on this planet. The worst thing you can do for yourself and your mental health is hope things stay the same. You see very miserable people doing that all the time. Like, don't change things. I want things to be like they used to be in the good old days. And things are so bad now. Things are the worst they've ever been. And it's like, oh my God, my whole life. I mean, I was born in the middle of Vietnam. I was born in the middle of the civil rights era. I mean, and then go 100 years back. This country, from when I was born, this country was in a civil war. It's like,
Yeah.
Things are never going to be great. Life is hard. Your time on this planet is fraught with peril. We're all just holding on and doing our best. Isn't maybe the best thing we can do for each other is be kind and encourage and help each other have their best time here we can? I don't know. Is that a crazy idea? Apparently it is, because a lot of people want to go the other direction and be like, you don't think like me? Okay, I'm going to kill ya. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. You can't live if you don't agree with me. Okay. You know, it's like, where do we get? And you know what my answer is, how we get to that point, right? Trauma.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I will always go back to trauma as my answer, my general answer to this stuff. But anyway, well, I kind of feel like we've come full circle several times over. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And kind of our, in our roundabout way here, talking about, how to live the pivot lifestyle and how to live it in the times when nothing feels all that much fun. Or we're drained by the thing we don't really want to be doing, and our dream feels kind of bleak. I think that my overarching thing is make the plans when you're feeling good. Make the plans for how you're going to deal with, have your toolkit for how you're going to deal with that, so that we'll inevitably have down times, but how can you make them a little more, like today I was telling you, I was out for a walk and something happened and it kind of turned me a little bit, and it gave me like a bad feeling. There was some shame kind of in there and stuff, and it was just a weird little thing, and I was like, I don't like how this is harshing my mellow at all. And so I came up with this idea. I mean, that sounds weird. I thought to myself, what can I do? And it's like, I would really like to do some tapping, but I'm walking down the street. So I literally started tapping the side of my hand on my bag that I had with me. It was just pointy enough. And I started doing some EFT on the street, saying these things to myself or whatever, and it helped me. It helped pull me back out of that before I got too far. So that's part of my toolkit. That's what I can do. Having things like that in your back pocket is really going to help you for the moments that life is inevitably going to. That's because it is. It's the universe pointing you in direction.
Doubt about that.
So and I don't know. I kind of do talk about like the things that I like to do. Obviously, I talked about them in here. My kind of toolkit, but maybe someday we'll have a. Maybe we should ask all our guests, what's in your toolkit? How do you, if they've even thought about that, then we could have an episode with how, that would be kind of cool. I think that would be fun. I like that.
What's in your toolkit?
Yeah, get some people back on and say, how do you deal when, we should definitely have Laura back on, because Laura was definitely involved in our past week of that.
And she did stay up until...
She
crazy.
And gave up parts of her vacation time. I like to say PTO when we're out in the real world. To me, that's such corporate speak. It was her vacation time. She had to give up. But anyway, talk about how we recover in our pivot. I think that would be fun. So we'll do that one day. And signing off here. I'm denMeer.
Anne Kingston.
And we are presenting the Pivot Happens podcast, the plucky little podcast that could. Oh, what were we going to say? We had a little a sign-off thing about, what did we took it from something I said about you'll be stronger than you know when you get there. So again, remember, you'll be stronger than you know when you get there, and keep on pivoting.
Keep on pivoting.
Bye.
Seriously, we are 100% non-qualified, unprofessional armchair psychologists. The Pivot Happens podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and is not a substitute for any form of professional mental or physical health care. If you are experiencing any mental health issues, please reach out and find qualified help. If you do not currently have a support system in place, the NAMI helpline provides the one-on-one help and information necessary to tackle tough challenges that you, your family or friends are facing. Call, text or email with the helpline MF, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. 988 crisis service available 24/7. Call 1-800-9506-264. Text NAMI to 62640. In a crisis? Call or text 988.